one of those examples. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, man. We're all in there with you.
Hey,
Fat Boy Fridays.
But we're all back in the gym, though.
Shout out to Fat Boy Fridays.
I ran 7 miles today. What's up?
I be seeing you on that Stairmaster killing that shit, bro.
But peep this, though. So it has adverse effects. You know, these things cause trauma. Then the trauma cause habits. The habits cause, results. Results cause sickness. It can cause death. It can cause whatever it is. It causes these things like Saugus. But it's like now, how do we move forward from that?
Exactly.
And I think that's the.
How do you break out of that cycle? I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah, and even when you break out of it, how do you stay out of it?
Yeah,
because
that's
I've
the
seen
hardest
myself
part.
falling back in, coming back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's these conversations, but it's just one thing at a time. And I don't know. That's probably something. If a caller wants to come in, say something.
Shout out the phone number.
Yeah. What is it? 323-900-0478.
That
sounds right.
Yeah, impressive. I forgot for a second.
Oh, memorization. Okay. You stopped smoking.
No. Yeah, why do people always got a dry snitch on my own fucking show, man?
See, here's the thing.
People always got a dry
said that he
snitch,
pisses in dive bars and windows and glass and shit and floors.
That's fine.
Mad at me when
I could tell him myself.
Yeah, but like.
That's different.
If
I want to do that, I'm free to do that.
All
but you
of us,
guys
though.
snitch.
You're a
on
personality,
me.
bro. You're a public figure. You have no more privacy. You've given that up
you have
when
more
you took
followers
on the
than both
TV
of us.
screen. You learned this in communication studies, bro.
You know what's funny? My little brothers were like, "Yeah, I googled you, and your picture like the first thing that comes up." And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Are you like famous?" I was like, "No." You see my followers? I ain't got followers.
And you need a Wikipedia now?
Yeah, and then they were like, "Yeah, we showed you to our friends." This is like a month later. They were like, "Yeah, we showed you to our friends," and I was like, "All right, man. Do they listen to podcasts?
You're trying to sell kids
Your friends listen to podcasts?
You're a podcast dealer now?
They should.
Get some free game."
But yeah, man, I think back to what you were saying. I think it's just, and we see athletes get caught up in it too. It's like, whatever your vice is, whether it's food, alcohol, weed, it's like
women,
money, whatever it is, self-destruction. Like, how do you break out of
Drake
that?
At a
like, how do you
Camp Flog concert?
It's like
all you kids.
We all know the problem, but the solution is always harder than.
I think the people who actually want the solution aren't the deciding factor on it. Like, think about it. And
you gotta want it, yeah.
Like, if all of us as a collective agree, like, yo, you shouldn't have guns in this area or whatever, and then the government doesn't do shit about that, we're all just stuck out here with guns and shit in the street. But like, then that's the other half of it. Like, the first half, we talk about mental health.
I don't even know if that's necessarily the solution.
In this case,
I don't even know if that's necessarily the solution.
Like we gotta pretend like we can't pretend like, okay, every neighborhood is flooded with guns, so like guns aren't going anywhere, and most gun owners are white. So it's like, if you break down who has access to guns, who has permits and all that laws.
My thing is my whole take on it is like, guns have always been around. Guns are not the problem. Something is happening or has happened that is now making a lift in this sort of direct violent activity. Like, it's not the guns, it's the people, it's the culture, it's policy, it's society. Like, it's a lot.
It's definitely people in society.
It's a lot. It's a lot more than just taking the guns out of the hands.
And it's also the fact that it's not even about the government, because you take the guns away from a government mandate to take guns away. What happens to the illegal guns?
That's what more I mean. Like, the illegal, you can't stop. Like, all those documentaries about Chicago where they say, like, they have unmarked cop cars or vans dumping a big ass box of guns in the alleyway and driving off. Like, and famous people, like legit people have attested to that. Well, you can't obviously stop like that side of the game. But in this case, like, I don't want there to be a gun debate in this particular situation, because this was like, no, this kid chose to murder people and then kill himself on his birthday.
That's what I'm saying.
That's different from Sandy Hook, where it was like, yo, white people are allowed to get guns at an insanely high rate. Like, not talking about like all these carny shows or like gun shows you can go to and you can get a license and get a gun right there on the spot, especially in the South. But, like, in this case, it's really just, yo, how did this kid snap and how did he get here? And if we really look at the school system, it's been failing kids for at least 4 generations. Like, my mom didn't have to worry about certain shit when she was in school. We were talking about it earlier. I'm like, I just know how they try to handle bullying or mental health is not all that great. Like, they're really behind the times on top of the fact that the school system in LA is fucked up. Like, so I feel like it's institutional problems on how we raise the kids, treat the kids. They're looking, think about it. Imagine kids are looking at all the statistical millennials, how, like, we're going to be broke. We're going to be the first generation that can't afford a home. They're seeing this shit at 10, 12 years old, bro.
Haters.
They see this shit at young ages, and they're like, you're telling me everything you want me to work for, like go to college and all this shit, and I'm 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and I'm looking at a world that existed for past generations but not mine, and you don't think people are going to fucking snap? Like, people aren't dumb. Kids aren't dumb. They probably have more information now than our grandparents ever did. And when they see everything going on in society, on top of the fact that they're hormonal little shits trying to figure their lives out, like, something's going to break. And it just so happens that a gun was the vice in this particular situation. But as we kind of talked about earlier, it's really, I think it's mental health and it's the school system in general.
Yeah, and I feel like now we're getting to the point where it's not about the information anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we can have all the information about how to get better, all the information about what does this and what does that, what helps this, what does that. But it's like, unless the person wants the information, unless they have, I feel like foundations are important.
Yeah,
like
for
a
sure.
foundation of their community, a foundation of whatever faith they have, foundation of themselves. And I feel like, you know, we're hit with all these distractions and things to take away from any foundation.
That people don't have a center. They don't know.
We don't look for it.
They don't have anything to stand for. They don't have anything to fall back on when they feel some type of way.
Yeah.
So they just act how they feel. Like,
I'd be horrified to grow up in this time. I'm glad I'm a 90s baby, because, like, the world
But we're
was
still
different.
in this time, though.
That's
I think
what everybody
adults...
says.
We're adults now, but imagine...
We still go through it, though.
Yeah, they go through it, but, like, we have a recollection of what it used to be like before things sped up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can pull back on that. But these kids born from 2000 on, they don't have that reference. They don't know how to slow down. They don't know what normalcy looks like. Like, they're hyperactive as fuck. Like, they don't even get a chance to process their emotions half the time. I probably bet they don't. Like, when we did some shit as a kid, like, you had time. I felt like these kids don't have any sense of time. Like, they're thrown a bunch of shit.
Peace.
This guy has no sense of time.
I actually do. I totally do. Fuck you, Pete.
But yeah, man, bringing it back to football, because this is a football podcast.
It is.
Shout out to the Good News Sports. Shout out to the X Squad affiliates. Shout out to FBC Radio.
Free-mo.
Shout out to everybody who listens to us. Shout out to your favorite podcast app.
Free-mo.
You can listen to this every week on touchdownsandtangents.com, as well as the Good News radio station app, FBC radio app, and like 70 other apps. But yeah, man, so
Free-mo. Not gonna say Free-mo.
Free-mo. Yeah, man. Shout out to the X Squad, man. Free-mo. You can actually go online and find their GoFundMe. Support Mo and that whole justice situation going on.
Yeah. So you wanna?
We gotta get Kesey on to talk about that.
We really do.
But yeah, with that, let's talk about the topic of the week, which is obviously Colin Kaepernick's workout, because everybody's been fucking talking about it. We've been talking about the situation literally since the inception of this podcast. So with that, Kenny, I'll ask you, Colin Kaepernick is getting his, I don't know what you would call it, official, unofficial
Combine workout?
League recommended
tryout,
sponsored, league sponsored, there you go, league sponsored workout in Atlanta on Saturday when most teams are traveling. Even though most workouts are on Tuesday, he'll get a workout. The NFL invited all 32 teams.
But
11 teams have RSVP'd so far. What do you make of that whole situation?
Well, the fact that there's a bunch of teams that also said they couldn't send representatives because of, the time crunch, and the fact that there's a bunch of reports that are just coming out today. Like today they announced
and his team's trying to stall. His team is trying to get more time.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson is going to be leading the workout for Colin Kaepernick, and then Twitter just exploded with jokes because y'all ain't shit.
Yeah, why would y'all get?
Y'all ain't shit.
You have jokes for that too.
I do. I just haven't said them yet. I have the decency. I've learned to reel it back. I don't always have to go for the throat. Like, I'm trying to be a better person, Pete. God damn.
So for the people who don't know, who is Hugh Jackson and why is that funny?
He's a former Raiders coach.
He coached at Dorsey High School way back in the day. Assistant at USC, head coach for the Bengals. No, was offensive coordinator for the Bengals, head coach for the Raiders, and wrongfully got fired after an 8-8 season, I would say. But he didn't have the best leadership tactics or skills, some might say. Also,
he's just either loved or hated. Like he's either well respected or not.
It doesn't help to be that polarizing when you're a black male as a head coach.
Yeah, he's a black male head coach. He's a black players coach, but he's also been the head coach of the Browns and the Raiders, so that just kind of comes with loads of jokes. And
they were really terrible in like 0-16, and Baker Mayfield threw shots at him, but now it turns out Hugh Jackson was right about Baker Mayfield. Shout out to Tyrod Taylor. I think he's the backup QB for the Chargers. But yeah.
Oh, he's still in the league. That's dope.
Yeah, he got a raw deal after leading Buffalo to the first playoff appearance since like fucking Jim Kelly, but whatever. I digress. When it comes to the Kaepernick situation, Eric Reed already said, I'm gonna quote Malcolm X: "If you stab me in the if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6, is that really progress? No, it's not. There's still a knife in my back." I also think that this workout is kind of rushed when they gave people like 2 they gave people 2 days notice, like teams 2 days notice, and the fact that Hugh Jackson
it was like a week,
as quoted, Hugh Jackson said today, I just found out today that the NFL asked me to lead Colin Kaepernick's drill. And I'm just like, so they're getting a black offensive coordinator who can't get a job in the NFL right now to be the QB coach or coach for his...
And he's a running
back
guy.
He coached quarterbacks.
It's just a PR stunt.
A lot of people are saying it feels like a PR stunt.
Yeah, for clout.
I think it definitely is, but at the same time, it's still an opportunity. The only. But
you know it's a trap.
My biggest issue with it is just the timing. Like
3 to 6.
It just feels random to do it in week 11 because, like, the reality is, like, any team, like, it's already too late for him to be a savior, like, for a team that needs a playoff push. Like, like any team that needs him is already either tanking and it's just going to play a young guy, or like they already have somebody.
A bridge guy.
So they don't need another backup because they already have somebody and probably a backup who knows the system. So it's kind of like...
He'll be going into a losing situation.
Really, like, the timing of it is just bad. Like even maybe like before the trade deadline and stuff, when teams were more like agile.
The beginning of the season might have been a good fucking...
The beginning of the season,
preseason
like...
even.
Preseason, like...
After the combine even. After the combine.
But now he's already
draft.
Like he's already in a situation where he's going to be like a pariah.
He would just be collecting a check on the roster, and then people would say he doesn't deserve a spot.
But exactly. Now you're not doing anything to help him, and it's kind of like it's too little, too late. But
for the NFL, it's working because we're talking about it right now.
Exactly. At the same time, like.
Working in their favor.
And it's a private workout, so none of us can have access to it or privy to it. And they just said the list he was going to get of people.
Well, they're filming it and they're going to send it to all the teams.
Yeah, but they said, like, originally he wanted, like, Kaepernick was going to get the list of everybody coming. Now he's not getting that. This all came out today, like late yesterday.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. But, I mean... Really, it is an opportunity for him to continue living his dream and play football.
But it's also a straight-up Trojan horse. For those who peep it, like kind of the way everybody was talking about when Veterans Day happened and people were like, I really don't like the way they're pimping out Pat Tillman. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. I don't even want to go there.
Even Arizona State, like there's legit, even his family are like, yo, stop fucking bringing up Pat Tillman's name, NFL. Like, it's bad, but yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, But I forgot what I was gonna